जुमन मेरे आठों राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम Ram Tulsidas ji says, "Abo Prabhu kripa karahu yehi bhanti, sabata ji bhajan karo din rati." Bless me, my Lord, so that I may renounce everything and just devote myself to you day and night, night and day. This means that we must keep God in mind as we do our worldly chores. Many misinterpret scriptures. Many complain that Sant Tulsidas has told us to renounce all the works. Should I not do the work that I'm doing in life? Should I give up my job? Should I not take care of my family? Should I just do bhajan, Hare Ram all day long? No. While doing our worldly works, we ought to think about God. Kabir Das ji says, when I lift my hands to perform some action, I think that I am offering puja to Bhagwan. I am offering worship to my Lord. When I use my legs and my feet to walk somewhere, I think to myself, I'm walking towards God. And I'm circumambulating God. I'm doing parikrama of Bhagwan. When I go to sleep at night, I think I'm doing Sashtang Pranam, full body prostration unto my Lord. So in everything that we do, we should include our Supreme Lord, our beloved Lord. That is what he means. Dinarati. Sabataji, so that I may renounce all my worldliness. Even while being involved with the world physically, I must renounce, I must renounce the world mentally. This is what saintly souls do. This is what Tulsidas ji has done. This is what Mirabai has done. This is what all the saints have done. They have lived in the world, but they have not allowed the world to live inside of them. So Lord Krishna says to us also, Yat karoshi, whatever you do, yadashnasi, whatever you eat, yat juhosi dadasi yat, when you give charity, whatever you do, whatever form of charity you're involved in, do it all by dedicating it all to me. Do it and dedicate all of this to me. Eating should be dedicated to me. Sleeping should be dedicated to me. Doing whatever you're doing, all your actions should be dedicated to me. Some say, yes, I do that. We say, of course, Bhagwan, I do that already. When I have done my work, afterwards I say, I offer it all to you. But that is not what Bhagwan means. What he means is while the work is being done, we must think of him, not afterwards. While we are cooking, while we are cleaning, while we are doing the work we are doing, we must think of him being near us, being in front of us, sitting in front, standing there, somewhere. He is in the vicinity, he is right in front of me. That is devotion. All the time, remembrance of this. Saints have said the mind stream should flow continually towards God. There should not be a break of even half a second. Indeed, the Bhagavad Puran says, defining who a Vaishnava or a devotee is, the Bhagavad Puran says, Lavanimishadamapi Yasa Vaishnavagriha. The one who does not forget God for even a twinkling of an eye is a devotee of God. So we should strive towards being devotees of God by offering all our activities to Him while remembering Him while performing all our actions. More sabahi ek tum Swami, says Goswami Tulsidas ji. Dina bandhu ur antaryami. My Lord, you are my one and only. I have no one else. No one else is mine. How we grieve for the world, our world, made up of very few people. How we grieve for them. Because we consider them to be our own. So we say, am I not to grieve for my dearly departed mother, grandmother, grandfather, father, my child, my husband, my wife? I have the right to do that. God says no. They don't belong to you. If we really think about it, no one in the world belongs to us. Because we are the Atma. We are the soul. The soul doesn't have any relationship with the world. The soul has only one relative, which is God. And besides God, we are not related to anyone else. All the others, all the ones we call our relatives, our sambandhi, they are related to this body, not to us, not to the soul. And then if we are going to grieve for our loved ones, then how many are we going to grieve for? We have had countless loved ones. But we are so fickle, we remember only the ones from this life. What about the ones from previous lives? We're very fickle, we forget them. But we focus on only the ones who are our relatives, we call our relatives, in this life. Adi Shankaracharya says, think how many relatives you have. Kati naam sutana lalita, kati vaneha vadhura gunji, kvanute kvanutascha vavayam, bhavasanga khalupantha sangama. Adi Shankaracharya says, where are the countless mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and children you've had in the countless previous lives? Where are they now? We say, I don't know. Adi Shankaracharya says, just as you don't remember the previous ones, you will not remember the present ones in your future lifetimes. You will not remember them, you will have no recollection of them. So think who you are, think about who you are, and who you belong to, and who belongs to you. So someone who has truly understood the knowledge of scriptures, who hasn't just read the scriptures, but who has understood the gist of the scriptures from a guru, from a qualified guru, and one who has accepted that truth, because it's not enough to just hear it. Yes, Guruji, you say something, I'll listen to you using my ears, and then I'll go like this, you're right, and then after that, we forget what you said. First is Shravan, second is Manan, third is Nididhyasan. Shravana is the very first step. We listen to what the Guru has to say. That is the very first step. It doesn't end there. Second step is to Manan, to do Manan, to go again and again, to revise that teaching again and again in the mind, to reflect on what was said again and again, because we tend to forget. There were great souls in the past who had such great memories, and they had such great attention span, they had such mental ability that they would hear the Guru say something and they would not only memorize it, they would understand it, and then they could repeat it verbatim. But not only that, they understood it after being told once. And they were called Sushrut. There was someone who was named Sushrut because he could understand everything by hearing it only once. Let's face it, we are no Sushrut. We're nowhere near that stage. So we will need to hear the same thing again and again. This is why the Guru tells the same concepts, talks about the same concepts in different ways, using different examples, but it's the same eternal truth of the Vedas, the Upanishads, and other Vedic scriptures. We need to hear it again and again. Avritti Rasithidupadesha. This is why scriptures tell us, listen to divine teachings again and again. So the second thing to do is to do Manan. We need to hear it, first of all, Shravan, do the Shravan again and again. Secondly, we need to reflect on what was said, what we heard again and again. Then the third step is to take a decision. Nididhyasan. This is how I'm going to live my life. I have heard from my Guru that I am the Atma, I am not the body belongs to me, I am not the body. Just like my money is not me. I'm not my money. I'm not my house. I'm not my car. I'm not my boat. In the same way, I'm not my body. The body is mine. I am the Atma. I've heard this from my Guru again and again. And I'm reflecting on this now, again and again. Then the third step is I'm convinced. So I'm going to live my life knowing that I am the Atma. So all my actions will show. They will show that I know who I am. I am the Atma, and all my actions will be testimony to that knowledge that I have. Listening is not enough. We have listened again and again, and we should continue to do it. Until we attain God, we need to listen. But we need to reflect on what was said. It can't be a new thing all the time. It cannot be that I've heard so much, but then I forget. Then I hear again the same thing and I think, I've never heard that before. No, you heard it. I've told you 10 times, says the Guru. Really, it sounds so new. It's like I never heard that lecture. It's because we fail to reflect on what was said. So someone who knows, someone who has understood and accepted the divine teachings of scriptures told by the Guru says, More sabahi ek tum swami, veer bandhu ur antaryami. My Lord, I have understood that you alone are everything to me. I have no one else. We continue. भज मन मेरे आठों नाम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। भज मन मेरे आठों नाम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। राम एक पाप से जीव सारी, In these verses, Goswami Tulsidas Ji talks about the glory of Bhagwan's name. He says, even Bhagwan Shri Ram does not know in full the glory of his name. Because the glory of his name is unlimited. It has no limits. And the name of God is greater than God himself. Bhagwan Ram made great efforts to build the bridge to Lanka. He took the help of bears and monkeys. Ram bhalu kapi kataka batora, setu hetu shramakina nathura. But his name is so powerful that by taking the shelter of his name, one can cross the ocean of Maya. Bhagwan Ram took so much help to build the bridge to Lanka, but his name is even mightier than him because taking the shelter of his name, countless souls have attained liberation from Maya. They have gone across the ocean of Maya, says Tulsidas Ji, most lovingly and most adoringly. And you know, Bhagwan is not always available on earth. He comes from time to time. Jab jab hoye dharam ki hani, badhahi asur maha abhimani. Tab tab prabhu dhari vividh sarira, harahi kripa nidhi sajjan pira. He comes down to earth. Every time the evil ones are tormenting the virtuous ones, the devoted ones. He's not available all the time, and even when he's here, we don't recognize him. But his name is always with us. We always have access to his name. So we should chant his names with love. Bhagwan Ram says, chant my name, but I'll tell you how to chant my name. Mam gun gavat pulak sarira, gad gad gira nayan bahanira. Bhagwan Ram says, when you chant my names, when you sing the songs of my glories, then there should be three reactions you should be experiencing on your physical body. First one is pulak sarira, sharir pulkit ho jana chahiye. There should be goosebumps on your skin. Secondly, gad gad gira, there should be a lump in the throat. You should not be able to take my name properly because you are so moved by taking my name. Thirdly, nayana bahanira, there should be a stream of tears flowing from your eyes as you sing my name. So we should take the name of Bhagwan with lots of love. Sri Maharaj Ji, Jagat Guru Sri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, my beloved Guru Dev, and Guru to many of you sitting here, and many of those who are not here, Guru of the entire world. He used to say, when you chant the name of God, don't sing from here. Don't just use your voice. Don't just use your vocal cords to sing his name. He used to point to the heart and he would say, sing from here. Sing from the heart. He used to say, when you take the name of God while meditating on God, as opposed to while thinking about the world, there is so much difference between these two, that one is like an atom bomb and one is like a balloon. Taking the name of God while meditating on God, that's like an atom bomb. So much power. Taking the name of God while the mind wanders all over the world, thinking of the Taj Mahal, thinking of India, thinking of loved ones back home, thinking about, right here, thinking about the house and household matters. While the tongue chants the name of Ram, 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 the mind is wandering all over the world. And that is like a balloon. It looks big. Wow, how well she sings. How nicely he has sung. Goodness. But it's like a balloon. There's no power in that singing because there's no meditation in it. The balloon may be very big, but it's just full of hot air. That's it. There's no power in it. You can hit somebody with a balloon, but don't expect him to get hurt. He will just laugh. Oh, you threw a balloon at me. But it was such a huge balloon. Did he get hurt? No. But atom bomb, millions can be destroyed. There's so much power in that. So when we chant his name, we must understand and accept that he lives within his name. There's no doubt about it. God lives within His name. That is why He hears us when we call out to Him with love. When we take His name, He hears us. He's right there in His name. And if we are chanting His name, if we are singing His name while meditating on Him, if we really mean it when we say, "Come to me, Bhagwan Shri Ram. Aajao mam Raja Ram, de do mohi prem nishkam." Come to me, Raja Ram, Lord of my heart, King of my heart, come to me and bless me with selfless love. If we are just paying lip service to Him, He doesn't come. If we really mean it, if we are saying it with all our heart, "Come to me, Bhagwan Shri Ram," then He comes. So He lives in His name. If we call out to a person of the world, if we call out to a family member, he may or may not hear us. If he's in the vicinity, he'll hear. He'll hear you calling out to him. But if he is in another country, he can't hear you. If he's living in a different state, he can't hear you. If he's living in a different city, he can't hear you. If he's living 2 houses down, he can't hear you. But God hears us all the time. The name of God is powerful, but more powerful than God, but we don't see anything happening within if we don't take that name with love. And in Kali Yuga, in this era that we're living in, the age of Kali, the only way to take ourselves to God is by chanting of the holy name. It's by chanting the holy name. There is no need to do yajna or havan. There's no need to do ritualistic puja. These are methods for other ages, for other yuga. For Kali Yuga, there's only one recommended method. God has told us this method. That is chanting of the holy name. The Ramayana tells us so, and Skanda Puran tells us so. Hare Namayva 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 Mama Jivanam Kalau Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga there is no other way, no other way, no other way. 3 times the same has been said. No other way to attain God except by chanting the holy name. That is the recommended method for Kali Yuga. So we should all be very fond of singing His name. And for those of us who are already fond of singing His name, we should keep in mind at all times that the mind has to be involved in the chanting process. Otherwise, it's just an exercise of the vocal cords, nothing more than that. We're just exercising our vocal cords, nothing more than that, if the meditation on Bhagwan is not included. And so let's chant Bhajman Mere Aathoyan, and we'll conclude the chanting. I would like every one of you, each and every one of you, to please sing and clap, because we owe this to God. We are eternally grateful to God. We owe it to ourselves to chant His name with enthusiasm. We need to chant His names with lots of love and enthusiasm, considering it our privilege that we have a voice. He's given us a voice, and we should use that voice to glorify Him. We should use our hands to clap as we chant His names. We should use as much of our body as possible when we are singing His name, so that the mind may find it easier to make its way towards God. Chanting, singing helps a lot. It helps the mind tremendously to meditate on God. And even clapping the hands helps a lot. Ramakrishna Paramhans used to say, when you clap your hands while chanting, then you chase away the birds of your sins, they fly away. So a devotee asks, "Sir, how is it that these sins just disappear? Just by clapping?" He said, just like when you want to chase away birds that are on a tree, you clap your hands, you make some noise, and they fly away. In the same way, when you clap your hands, the birds of your sins fly away, and this is how. When you clap your hands, your mind becomes a little bit more interested in the chanting process. And when the mind is taking interest in God, in chanting process, then God will come into the mind, and God will purify the mind. The more you invite God into your heart, the more your heart will be purified. So clapping of the hands does help the mind focus itself on God. There was a guru who said to his disciple, you should clap your hands, you should sing the name of God, and your sins will fly away. And the disciple was a curious type. He asked, Guruji, my sins will fly away, but where will they land? If they fly away from my mind, where will they land? And the Guru said, they will land in the mind of those who are not chanting. A little hint. You are wise, you got the hint, Asha. Bhajuman mere aathoya, Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hare भजन आठों नाम श्री राम जय जय राम Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram